What's up, everybody? It's Matt from Night and Day Performance, and we're back with another video. As you can see from the title, I got stuck driving one of these Tesla electric vehicles. The funny thing is, I'm a gearhead. For those that know me, I don't really like electric vehicles. I personally could care less about the electric vehicles normally on a normal basis, but I figured I'd take this opportunity to go ahead and do a little review on the Tesla so that if you're looking to buy one, you can kind of see an honest opinion of somebody who's never driven one. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride as we drive this Tesla. We took it 3,000 miles, and I'm going to go over what happened along the way, goods, bads, uglies, whatever you want to consider it, and just my overall opinion on the Tesla Model 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that we're at a charging station here. The Tesla is charging. So if you want to get an idea of what you do, you pull up to these Tesla charging stations, and what you're going to do is you're just going to grab your little nozzle here, plug it in there, and that's if you're looking for space, the Teslas do have tons of space for you to store your stuff in. They have the front and the trunk inside the your glove box and all, but outside the vehicle, you're button. Here's the trunk and the trunk space. So you got plenty of space there, plenty of space here for that. And then if you walk around to the front, you're gonna see what's considered the front. And we have space here. We have our little tow kit there. Inside the vehicle, you're gonna see tons and tons of features, safety features, features that I think are not safe, different types of things depending on who you are and how you like to drive and ride in vehicles. So here I am 6'2", so as far as space goes, 3 has enough room for me to extend my legs all the way. And then if you look in the back seat with it all the way, excuse the dirty mess, there's still room for somebody to sit back there. Took this Tesla on a 3,000 mile road trip from Houston, Texas, all the way down to Orlando, Florida. And when we got it, basically our plane got canceled. Our flight got canceled an hour before takeoff, and we had to get down to Florida for my son's birthday. So I went to the rental desk and said, hey, I don't care what you have, I need to get to Florida. Give me a rental, because I didn't want to take my car because I hadn't done any of my maintenance on the car. My truck needed an oil change. I needed to do some repairs on it. I didn't want to take it on a 3,000 mile road trip when I wasn't prepared to take it on one. So I did the mature thing and went and rented a car that was ready for a road trip. Or so we thought. The road trip was supposed to be 15 hours. With the Tesla, we ended up spending 22 hours in the car driving there because we spent about 7 hours charging. You would hear that the Tesla Model 3 has around a 390 mile range, but that's if you're driving like 45 or 55 with the autopilot, I'm guessing, and good traffic, good weather conditions, because I didn't get anywhere near 390 miles. It might just be the fact that I have a lead foot and I'm used to driving fast cars. I got about 180 to 200 miles on a full charge. So we ended up having to stop like 6+ times to charge on the way down there on our trip, which was around 1,200 miles down. Each time we stopped, if you charge from completely empty, you're going to spend about 50 minutes on average. As you can see here, 25%, and it's going to take me 50 minutes to finish charging to full, to the 100%. So if you're in a rush, this is not the car you want to take on a road trip. Price wise, it was a little cheaper. I will say that we saved about $200 compared to a car of its same size, say like a little 4 or 6 cylinder car driving down to Florida. I want to say we spent maybe $100 charging going all the way down. So we did save money there. We didn't have to do any oil changes or coolant checkups or anything of the sort, so we don't have to spend money on that or those items as far as maintenance goes. So we saved money on that. But on the way down, like I said, it was just constantly having to stop for charging was a bit of an inconvenience. So we're gonna inside of the Tesla. So of course, here's your steering wheel. I'm gonna try to back up some so you can see. So we have our steering wheel here. We have our Tesla key here to start the car or to initiate it. You press the brake and you hold this right here. And of course, right now, I forgot, when it's charging, it won't let you do it because it doesn't want you to leave. But that's how you do that. And then in here, your settings. So we have our controls, which is going to be basically your mirrors. You can adjust those, turn your recording on for your dash cam, put it in car wash mode. Your glove box, which you open with this. There's a button. So over here that I can see, there's no other way to open the glove box. There's not a manual way. So that could be an issue if you had a failure. Your child locks, your windshield wipers are here. So you press that to turn your windshield wipers on. You can put them on auto, which I would recommend because it's a pain to kind of turn them on and off. Your brightness for your screen, up or down. Dynamics are going to be your steering wheel weight, how fast you want it to accelerate when you hit the accelerator. Stopping mode, it can hold so you don't have to sit there and hold the brake. Creep, roll, it's pretty self-explanatory. Slip start is if you're in the snow or if you're stuck. It helps you get out of that because these don't like spinning. Charging wise, you see your current charge. You can get some tips about it, see how much it cost you. Right now we're charging in Humble, Texas. It's costing us 35 cents per kilowatt. Total $7 so far, which we just got here not too long ago. So it can get a little expensive. Autopilot we'll go over in a little bit. I'm going to do some autopilot driving to show you what it does and what it doesn't do. You can set it up in here if you wanted to go faster than the speed limit, slower than the speed limit. If you wanted to just set based off of your current speed, you can do that. Speed limit warnings tell you if you're going too fast. Forward collision warning, either early, medium, or late. I don't think anybody wants a late collision warning because if it's too late, that might be a problem. Your lane departure avoidance, it has the assist, which I'll show you later on in the video. It'll assist you from going out of your lane on accident, or they have just a warning, or you can turn it off. Here's your locks, your child locks, your window locks, what you set it up to do when you walk away with the keys, like automatic locks. Basically, driver door unlock mode means you got to hold this button here to unlock all the doors, and you can also make it unlock when you hit park. I don't think that's a good safety feature, so I turned that off when I was driving. It'll tell you if you leave the car open. And then here's our lights, our display, our trips. It tells us basically all the places we've went, the distance that it's been, how much energy it used, the average energy. We have our navigation setup where we can tell it to use HOV lanes, avoid tolls, avoid ferries, reroute to save time. Our safety features, Sentry mode, dash cam clips. If you wanted to automatically record dash cam or on a honk record dash cam. You can set a pin to drive the vehicle, a pin to open the glove box. Your speed limit mode, you can make it so that you can't go over a certain speed limit. You can even make it so you have cabin protection. So right here, it'll activate the AC if the inside of the car gets too hot. This right here, automatic 911, is a good safety feature. If you get in an accident and something happens and you can't get to your phone, it automatically will call 911. We have service mode, which tells us our tire pressure sensors, towing, driver's seat. So towing, I'm sure you can set it up. So yeah, it tells you how to tow it, what to do, what not to do. Camera preview, you can live stream your cameras. Factory reset, basic stuff that you would see on a normal computer. You have your software updates, how many miles are on it, the VIN number, the autopilot features, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, upgrades, because you can purchase upgrades on these as well. So aside from this stuff, you do have your phone, you have your Bluetooth, you have your radio, you have your volume. This is how you turn your AC up or down, turn the temperature up or down, and of course your home button. So we're going to go ahead and get into some driving. We're going to roll around and just show you some of the features of the Tesla, and you guys can determine in the comments whether you want to drive one or not. I want to see in the comments if you like Teslas, if you like electric vehicles, or if you think we should strictly stick to gas. Me personally, I think we should have both. I think they have their place. After driving one, I changed my mind. I used to hate electric cars and hate Teslas, but now that I've driven one, I will say that they're kind of cool, and if you're driving to and from work 10-15 miles down the road, yeah, it's a great car. It's going to get you there quickly, efficiently, safely, and you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for oil, you don't have to pay for coolant. So you have those features that are going to save you some money. I would say if I was going to get one of these, I'd probably lease it, not buy it. That way, around the time when it's time for me to give it back, I can go get me another one that's going to have a good battery that I know is going to have a warranty. If you buy it, then you have to save some money to set aside to replace the battery, which I've heard are $15,000 to $20,000 for a battery. So you have to be prepared to have that money on standby to repair your car. A normal gas car, I keep a few thousand on standby just to fix if it had an engine replacement, repair the engine, brakes, oil, transmission. But with this one, you have to have that large amount set aside, because if your battery goes bad, that's expensive. If the electric motors go bad, that's expensive. And not a lot of people can work on these, so you're gonna have to take it to Tesla. And I'm pretty sure Tesla's service department is not cheap. Well, let's go ahead and get into some driving. We're gonna go cruise around. I'm gonna engage the autopilot, show you some of the safety features. You tell me for yourself if you like it or not. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video, and let's go ahead and get rolling on the road. So they've improved on the Teslas a lot as far as safety features go. I will say that this is one of the safest cars that I feel like I've driven in a while, because of the features that it does have. It doesn't let you necessarily just drive off the road. If you start veering off the road, it will do its own corrective actions to try to straighten it up. Same thing with if you're not paying attention or you're dozing off and you start veering all over your lane, it will also do the same thing and try to correct it, which I'm here. So it's not in autopilot mode, but as I get over close to this side here, it's gonna beep beep, and it automatically, as you can see on the screen, corrected it and told me to grab the wheel. So that's a good feature of it that I can see. You know, it helps for people that might fall asleep or be on long road trips. It helped me on the way back. It helped keep me and my family safe, because, you know, I got a little sleepy, and, you know, as I got sleepy, it just told me, hey, you know, pay attention to the road, or you're going off the road, or you're veering around. So that is a good feature that it does have. I will say that Tesla is safe when it comes to that. There are features that I feel like are inconvenient or not necessarily the greatest features available. Like the windshield wipers. They have a toggle like you would have on your car, but to use the windshield wipers, you kind of have to bump that and then use the steering wheel, little wheel, and turn on the speed you want. And it's just not as easy as, you know, I guess whenever you normally have them, where you memorize, you just click it and click the button and your windshield wipers come on. So it's something I'm sure you would learn over time to adapt to and get used to. So not necessarily a bad thing. Heads-up display would be a good upgrade for Tesla to implement and help out with driving. So if I had something over here showing my mile an hour instead of this, I think that'd be a little bit better, like the normal Chevy heads-up display. But it does show you your speed. One thing I will say is a positive with the Tesla, worry about the things you do with gas cars, about the car overheating. You don't have to worry about oil changes. This car just drove 3,000 miles, and it can drive another 3,000 miles, and you don't have to change oil. You don't have to worry about coolant leaking. You don't have to worry about overheating. You don't have to worry about it idling too long other than your charges. So that's going to save people money. You're not going to have to pay for all those things. It's kind of bad for the mechanic side of things. So, you know, the mechanics are going to start losing that if we switch over to all electric. They're not going to be having the oil changes as often and all. And then with this, with it doing kind of its auto braking feature, where it automatically slows down when you let off the accelerator, I'm pretty sure it's the electric motor that's slowing it down, not the brakes. So the brakes aren't going to wear out as fast. So it's going to save you money on that. Not necessarily help the mechanics once again. So everything's starting to become automated in the world, and it's kind of a scary thing to think of, that pretty soon everything's going to be done by robots or computers instead of humans. We'll always have our place and we'll have to do certain things, but it seems like the world's trying to make it so that we're lazy. We're becoming lazy human beings, and everything is doing its own thing for us. You know, stuff will cook for us, stuff will clean for us, cars will drive for us. Who knows, cars might even start flying for us, or we don't even have to take planes anymore. So, I mean, that is a good and a bad. Safety wise, you know, I don't feel that the robots and all are advanced enough to do that, the things that human beings can do. But from a safety standpoint, there's a lot of things that humans do on a daily basis that could be averted and not have an issue with. For instance, the Tesla, when you're driving it, if a pedestrian comes out in front of you while you're driving, it automatically slows down. Like it'll beep beep and warn you, and you know, start going crazy on the dash. And if it's on autopilot, it'll slow down before it hits them. So I mean, that takes the human mistake factor out of what you would have from your normal gas powered car. Over the 3,000 mile trip, I will say it was cheaper than using a normal gas car. I would say if I had like a Prius, it probably wouldn't be cheaper, or maybe like a small Honda. From here in Houston, Texas, all the way to Orlando, I want to say I spent maybe $100 charging or so. That's actually cheap. Normally my trips to Orlando in gas powered vehicles are, you know, $200 to $300 each way. So I spent about half what I would have normally spent if I used a gas car. The downfall to that, my 15-hour trip down to Orlando turned into a 22-hour trip each way. So I had an extra 7 hours down, an extra 7 hours back, because I had to stop and charge the car. As far as range goes, this is a long-range Tesla Model 3 that's supposed to get you around 390 miles. But just like with fuel mileage, those are dependent on your driving habits. I personally don't drive slow. I would say I'm more on the aggressive side of driving a little faster. So when it comes to that, I will say that, you know, it's not necessarily good for long distance. Instead of 390 miles, I was getting 180 to 200 miles on a full charge. And a full charge at a supercharger, with the vehicle being almost completely dead, say like 5%, took about 50 minutes or so, or an hour to charge. I could normally get about half a charge in about 25-30 minutes, where I could go to my next stop. But if I wanted a full charge, I had to sit there for about an hour each time. So that is one thing I will say. Time is money. While it saves you money on maintenance, it's going to cost you money if you're doing long distance with charging. So I still think they have a long way to go with the technology for getting these vehicles to charge and charge faster, so that they're more efficient and more useful for the customers. I know a lot of the newer vehicles are getting like 500 or 600 miles on a charge. So I'm sure that Elon and you know, Tesla are going to fix this, and you know, keep advancing and getting better batteries, and hopefully figure out a way to dispose of the batteries. Because while we're saving the carbon footprint of the fossil fuels burning in your engine, the chargers, a lot of them are ran off diesel. The batteries, the lithium ion batteries, are not good for the environment. They can't really dispose of them. So we're gonna have landfills full of batteries that are no good. A lot of people are gonna get comfortable with not having to pay for maintenance. And whenever you think about it, your normal aspects, you're not going to pay for oil changes and all that, so you're going to get used to that. But then the situation is going to come where your battery is going to go bad, or your motor's going to go bad, and instead of, you know, your normal $100 here, $200 there, you now have a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 bill for a battery. So you're going to have that money stashed away, because eventually you're still going to have to spend that money. So does it really save you money? I don't think it really does, because most of the stuff on a gas-powered car, at least as long as it's not brand new, you can get engines for $4 or $5 grand, batteries for $100, $200. As far as the Tesla battery, after several years, maybe 5 years or so, and you have to replace that, that's significantly higher cost than your normal vehicle. Normal vehicle probably gets you 200,000 miles on an engine. I don't know how long the Tesla engines or motors last, the electric motors, but I'd have to imagine that between the electric motors being prone to failure or the battery, you're putting yourself in a situation where you could be spending a lot of money to repair that. So that is something that is possible. But overall, I will say the Tesla is comfortable. The seats are very nice. It's spacious. You can see out of all the windows. You can see through your heads-up display your left and your right side, so it's kind of safer from blind spot issues or having somebody riding in your blind spot. And then there's sensors all around the car to tell you if there's people in your blind spots. And then you have your dash cam or your cameras that record during accidents, which I think all cars should have dash cams anyways, because it'll save you when you go to court. It'll save you from having problems with that. So I will say that that is one thing I would start working towards is, you know, charging a little better. But overall, I don't think I'm going to get a Tesla just because I like my gas-powered vehicles. If I did get one, it would be more so for the daily trip to work. I would always have a gas car for longer road trips, just because to me, it's a better car to have gas. It's faster. To me, it's more efficient of my time to be able to fill up real quick and take off and go to the next location where I'm going, compared to sitting here charging all of it. But tell me your thoughts in the comments. Do you guys like Teslas? Do you like gas powered? Do you like race cars? Most of the people on our channel are probably going to say, man, screw that electric car. We're all about, you know, power and horsepower and loud cars, and I'm right there with you. But hey, you never know. This might be our future. We got to keep on seeing and keep fighting for the gas-powered cars to not go away and get replaced. These have their place in the world. I wouldn't say that they're going to take the place of gas cars completely. Let's hope not. But we'll see.